Hi, my name is Jean-Michel Marcoux and I'm a research associate involved in the Valjean project. I would like to welcome you to this short presentation brief that summarizes part of the work that I have completed in regard to Foresight research for early-stage innovation projects. Scenario building is a technique that is used to provide decision makers with a set of possible futures that can be considered in order to make more robust decisions. Getting started with scenario building can be quite challenging. At best, what can be found in the scenario building literature is a description of procedural regularities that can be discerned from practice. Although this scenario building process requires the gathering of a lot of data, nothing is said in regard to the content or the kind of information that should be considered by practitioners. In this context, the question I was asked to think about is the following. How can scenario building practitioners gather solid information to develop scenarios for early-stage innovation projects? I argue that the analytical framework provided by the innovation system approach is highly relevant to inform the content of what kind of information should be sought. There are important links that can be established between scenario building and the innovation system approach. In an ad hoc effort to theorize scenario building, a group of scenario practitioners relied on the use of Emery and Twist causal texture theory as a conceptual underpinning for scenario building. This theory led to the identification of two types of environment in which an organization evolves. One, the transactional environment, where the organization exchanges with its broader environment and where it can influence the outcome of a situation. And two, the contextual environment, where elements interact and can impact the activities of the organization. However, the latter cannot influence the outcome of the situation that occur in this contextual environment. If scenario building is relevant to address the uncertainty of the contextual environment, a good understanding of the elements of this environment is paramount. This is where the innovation system approach becomes relevant. This approach has been developed by scholars who intend to analyze the functions and the components that influence innovative industries. It acknowledges that firms do not innovate in isolation, but in collaboration with other entities. By examining previous studies that rely on the innovation system approach, we have been able to identify 5 different functions that characterize innovation system. These functions are research, funding, associations, services, and regulation. For each of these functions, we have then looked at more specific components of the innovation system. Examples of these components include firms, public agencies, tax credit program, intellectual property framework, and so forth. We have then been able to seek in specific information regarding the potential sources of uncertainty for each early-stage innovation project. The data gathered through the innovation system approach allowed showing the use of available resources and the requirement applicable to each project. This information has been largely useful afterwards during a first round of interviews with researchers and project managers involved in these projects. First, we have used the interviews to validate the information that was found. Second, we have also used the information to prompt the interviewees. To summarize what has been discussed here, the use of scenario building for early-stage innovation project appears as being challenging. I argue that the innovation system approach has been highly relevant in this matter. Once operationalized, the functions and the components of the innovation system approach allow pointing out potential sources of uncertainty of the contextual environment in which an organization evolves. This has provided a solid ground for other steps of the scenario building process. Thank you very much for watching this. I truly hope it has been helpful. Should you have any questions or comments, please do not hesitate to contact me.